Leafs new head coach Craig Berube has found his new power play coach, and this is better than we thought. Plus, we have an update on Leafs first round draft pick Ben Danford, and I'm going to break it all down for you guys coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, we got a word from our sponsor, Fume. Are you trying to kick a bad habit to the curb? You need to check out Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device, and the flavored air category is quickly becoming the alternative to vaping and smoking. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from crisp mint to cinnamon hearts. They have a flavor for you. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, no vapor, and no combustion. Fume has been backed by many doctors within the United States, and they continue to invest into third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. My favorite thing about Fume is their delicious flavor cores. You can use them anywhere, at work, at home, or just on the go. Fume also is made to fidget with through its magnets, snaps, and clicks to just calm your anxiety. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, you can use my code DIGEST to get your free topper accessory. It's the perfect accessory to your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com to get this exclusive offer by using my code DIGEST to get your free topper accessory with the purchase of a journey pack. And once again, a huge thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. And once again, thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. If you want to get that exclusive offer, make sure to go check it out in the pinned comments and in the description. But with that said, let's jump right into the first topic of the video today, which is Ben Danford is impressing. And obviously, this guy was the Leafs' first round draft pick this year. We've talked a lot about him here on the channel, and he has a very bright future ahead of him. I believe at 18 years old right now, he has been impressing a lot of the Leafs staff during this training camp and development camp, but it's not like we're going to see him this season. But it is great just to see his improvement so far as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Obviously, signing that entry-level deal, I believe it was back at the beginning of August. So it's great to see this guy now having that contract signing out of the way. Just focus on improving his game. And we did get a word here from Haley Wickenheiser. This is what she had to say about Ben Danford. She said, he's very smooth on the ice, very smart player. Defensively, he makes stops. His offensive numbers weren't really that great this year. Well, I think they're better than the stats show, and he's a character kid. So obviously saying here, yeah, he's a great defenseman. That's what we know of him. That's what he's been in the juniors, and that's what we knew what we were getting here. But his offensive stats might not show on paper, but it actually shows on the ice. He's better at passing than what the stats would deceive you to be. So it's great to hear that, yes, he's a character kid. He's focused on getting to that next level and getting into that next gear to eventually end up in the NHL one day. And we also just take a look at Ben Danford. If you haven't heard our breakdown of Ben Danford, his hockey IQ is quite impressive. This is what they said here in the hockey news. We've talked a lot about this. He has high IQ. He knows what to do with the puck when he has it on his stick. And he also knows what positions to put himself in to make a defensive stop. He's a solid puck mover at both ends of the rink and understands when it's perfect time to jump to a spot in the offensive zone for a scoring chance. And honestly, as a defenseman, having that, IQ to jump up in the rush, to, take a shot on net for a tip, to pass it down the corner, to set something up is not something that every defenseman has, even veteran defensemen in the NHL have. So hearing that such a young kid has this kind of knack for the game is big, because if he has it now, it's only going to get better as the years progress, as he develops into an even better player than what he already is. And then they go on to say here, what stands out most is his ability to find open space and create plays in the offensive end. Obviously, he is a very solid defenseman on the defensive side of the puck, but he can also move the puck around and create those scoring chances for his team, which is big to hear as well. He says Danford also doesn't let plays die when the puck goes onto his stick, so he tries to keep the play alive, not trying to turn over the puck at the blue line. Whether it's a pass, whether it's a shot, he's always doing something in that offensive end to not kill a play, which is also big too, because we've seen that in Toronto defensemen before. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure you know who we're talking about. Some defensemen just let it go at sometimes, but they say more often than not, he's either finding a path to the net or searching for one of his teammates for a scoring chance. And obviously, hearing all this stuff come out about Ben Danford is big, because this is a guy who is high up on the Maple Leafs radar right now. He's the future of the Maple Leafs. Yes, he hasn't played a game for the Leafs yet, but being a first round selection, you always have that, kind of weight on your shoulders of being, hey, we need to see this guy at some point. We drafted him in the first round, and just hearing this stuff from Wickenheiser, hearing this stuff from the scouts about how he is playing right now is big, because he has that, ability to become a NHL defenseman. But it won't be for a couple of years. I think we will see a couple more years out of Danford in the OHL, unless he goes out and has a crazy season in the juniors this year, which is kind of like Easton Cowan, just kind of puts everybody on the mat and says, hey, yeah, we need to bring this guy over right away. But I do think we will see a couple more seasons over there in the juniors before he comes over, maybe with the Marlies at first. I'm pretty sure that's what the Maple Leafs have done with a lot of defensemen, have put them in the Marlies to see how they play in their first touches of pro hockey, and then if they impress there, that's when they start to bring them up. This is what we're seeing with Topi Niemela and Timothy Liljegren and guys like this who have been on that same path as Ben Danford has been on right now. But very excited for the future Ben Danford. I think this kid is going to be a wonder for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But we're going to get into the second topic of the video, so the main topic of the video, which is Leafs have new power play coach. And this is very exciting if you are a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, because, in the playoffs, a lot of people talked about how bad the power play was, especially against Boston. Their power play going into the playoffs was pretty good, and then Boston just seemed to shut them down. They could not get anything going. They played way better 5-on-5 than they ever could on the power play. But now, with all the coaches let go, a new one brought in, Berube bringing in his staff, there's definitely a bright side for the Toronto Maple Leafs here going forward in terms of their power play. And we did get an announcement saying that Craig Berube has appointed Marc Savard the new power play coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And yes, this guy has been controlling power plays for quite some time. And if we just take a look at what Berube had to say about appointing Marc Savard here, this is what he had to say. He said, he's an offensive guy, right? He scored a lot of points in the league. Great power play guy when he played. Just the familiarity I have with him, and his personality works well with those type of players. Obviously, these guys have coached together in the past in St. Louis, so he has that trust in Savard to bring this power play to new heights, which is obviously great to hear. And if we just move to the next one here, they say Savard will run at least power play that has been anchored by a top unit. Obviously, you have Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, Riley over the years. The Leafs have finished with the 7th best power play during the regular season at 24%, but the playoffs, where the unit mightily struggled, obviously. We discussed that at the beginning of this topic. They said scoring just once in their first round series loss to the Boston Bruins, and yes, that sucked to see. And we're just gonna skip over it. And then they go on to say here, as a coach, Savard ran the power play with the St. Louis Blues under Berube during the 1920 season. St. Louis had the 3rd best power play at 24.3%. He returned to the NHL after spending a couple of years as a head coach in the OHL, where he led the Calgary Flames power play, but then struggled with the 7th worst at 17.9%. But you can't put it all on the coach there. Obviously, I think with the Leafs have a way more star-studded roster than the Calgary Flames did when he was being the power play coach there. So I think we don't need to be concerned about him having a low power play percentage with Calgary, because this is a completely different team than the Calgary Flames. I think that this guy is really going to work out here in Toronto. This is something that really needs a refresher, especially after the playoffs. They weren't so bad in the regular season, but it just seems like when it comes to crunch time and they needed to draw plays last year on the power play, they just couldn't get anything to work. So having a guy like Marc Savard, who has been a head coach at a lower level, has controlled the power play units of NHL teams, is obviously going to be some much needed experience here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I think if they don't succeed, I think he won't be afraid to mix it up and split the wealth throughout the lineup. And I think this is way better than we thought, because obviously at the end of last year we were like, oh my god, this power play is horrendous. But now we got a guy, Marc Savard, who was a great power play guy during his time on the ice. He has been proven to be a great power play guy during his time coaching, so this is only going to help excel the Toronto Maple Leafs power play to the next level. And that's what we need. We need the Toronto Maple Leafs to go out there and be a dominant power play team, because when you have stars like Matthews, like Nylander, like Marner, like everybody they have there that is a huge star on that team, and you can't convert on the power play, it is very scary, because we see how good Tampa Bay was on the power play with Kucherov and Stamkos and Point. I mean, that power play was amazing, and this the same kind of talent that Toronto has. So why can they be successful but Toronto can't? I just don't think they've had the right face behind the bench as an assistant coach to be a successful power play. But now, where they have Savard, where they have Berube, who is going to hold players accountable, and they have Savard, who is a guy who has that brain for special teams, has that brain for scoring on the power play, it's really going to help this power play unit on the Toronto Maple Leafs succeed this season. And I think they will be up there within maybe the top 3 power plays this year, just with Marc Savard around the bench. Yes, that might be a little bit of a hot take, but I do think that he is the perfect guy here to be drawing up plays, to be setting up power play plays, and when they get those opportunities, he is going to be the guy who the players turn to say, what do you need from us? We're going to go out and do it. And I think this guy is going to be the perfect example of what a power play coach should be, and I'm really excited to see him get started here in Toronto. I think we're going to see a completely different Leafs team. It might not look that different on the ice, but with new faces behind the bench, that adds a lot more of a dynamic to this team than we're going to see last year. It's going to be different than, than a Sheldon Keefe team. It just is. It's going to be completely different, and it all starts with the power play with Marc Savard and the defensive coaching style of Craig Berube. It's definitely going to be exciting if you're a Leafs fan this year. But what do you think? Do you think Marc Savard impacts the power play that much, or what do you think? Is it going to be all the same? I think we are going to see some improvement here with Marc Savard. He is such a good power play coach, and fans should be getting excited about this news today. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that down below in the comment section. We're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Sean. Sean says Newfoundland really needs their own team. Sean, you're preaching to the choir here, buddy. We had our team last year, and they unfortunately left, and they went away, and now we have nothing here. So hopefully we can get one back soon. We're praying for it here on The Rock. We love hockey here, and we need our own team. We need a Newfoundland team here, but we really appreciate the comment there, Sean. I love seeing that one down there. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure down below, hit that like button. It helps push these videos out to all the Leafs fans on YouTube. Also, comment on the video. You might be featured on the next comment of the day, just like our buddy Sean was today. And subscribe to the channel. We're on the road for 5,000 before the end of the summer. So if you're not subscribed already, you want to stay up to date on everything Leafs related and everything NHL related, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out a video we did the other day, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.